Welcome to AIMS India's online classes. Today, from our science subject, we are going to continue our lesson light and shadow. Okay, children. So, in the previous session, we have discussed about the light and we also learnt about what is a shadow. So, today we will be continuing about shadow. So, characteristics of a shadow. Like yesterday we have learned like how a shadow is formed and through what materials a shadow is formed. Now we have learned that shadow is formed through translucent and opaque materials. No, whereas the transparent materials, as they do not block the light, they are not going to form the shadow. Okay, so apart from that we have some more characteristics, children. Let us learn that a shadow is always formed on the opposite side of the light source. So where does the shadow form? It always form on the opposite side of the light source. Okay, so opposite sides. Suppose this is the object. What is the opposite side to this object? Either this side or that side. No, this is the opposite side. So it is found on the opposite side. So normally when we are walking, so we can have the shadow to our opposite side of our body. No. And the second point is a shadow shows only the outline of the shape of the object and not any other details. So have you observed, children? Again we'll take the example of our body. So when we are standing, we have our shadow, but you can see the outline shape of our body, no, which is dark in color as shadow. But you cannot see in detail the eyes, the nose, the face, the hands, the legs, or our dress, whatever we are wearing. So you cannot see all those things what we are having on our body in detail. Only it shows the outline shape of our body. Yes or no? Clear, children? So this is what a shadow shows to us. And the third point is the color of a shadow does not depend on the color of the object. Shadows are always dark. Okay. So again we are taking the example of our of ourselves, like our human body. So even if you are wearing a white dress or a red dress or any other colored dress, or you yourself are fair in color, or you are having a mixed color, so whatever may be the color of our body or color of our dress and the things what we are wearing, so in the shadow we can see only one color, that is the dark color. No, so it does not have any color. Shadow does not shows the color of a object. Okay, it is always dark in color. So even if you take a book, even if any object, if you see the shadow of that particular object, children, you can just see some dark shade, whatever might be the color of the object. Okay, so this is the third characteristic. And the fourth one, the size of the shadow depends on the distance of the light source from the object and also on the distance of the screen from the object. Okay, the size. So sometimes the shadows will be long, sometimes the shadows will be short. This is the size, sometimes it increases, the shadow size, sometimes it decreases. How is it this happening? So because it depends on the distance of the light, on the distance of the light. So and also the object, the distance of the light source from the object. Okay, and also the distance of the screen from the object. Okay, see how it is? We'll see. Just a minute. So when the light source is close to the object or the screen is away from the object, the size of the shadow increases. So when the size is going to increase, when the light source is close to the object. Okay, suppose this is the object, children, and when the light source, suppose if you see this as the light source, if this is close to the object, okay, and the screen, okay, the screen is away, it is far away from the object, then the shadow size is going to increase. Okay, and oppositely, when the light source is away from the object or the screen is close to the object, the size of the shadow decreases. So same example if you take here in the opposite version. So when the light source is far away from the, okay, we'll take it as far away. No, we'll make it some more far away here. So when the light source is far away from the object, and just a minute, children, and the screen is nearer to the object, then what happens? The shadow size is going to decrease. Okay, clear? So this is how the shadow size is going to increase or decrease depending upon the light distance from the light to the object. Okay, clear, children? Now, so we'll see it as with a diagram help as I have drawn there. Same here. See here you are having two types of diagram. Here the size of the shadow, if you see, it is large when compared to this picture. No, the size is increased. The shadow size is large. Why? Because the light source is very nearer to this object. This is one object. For example, we'll assume this as a ball. Okay, any object you can take. Okay, so the light source is very nearer to this object and the screen. Okay, suppose you assume it is a door or anything, any screen. Okay, so this shadow of this ball is falling on this screen. And how is the size of the shadow? It is large in size. Okay, because the size is increased because the light is close to the object and the screen is away from the object. And here if you see here, the light is far away from the object. See here, see the distance from here to here. Okay, so it is far away from the object and it is close to the screen. Now this is far away and this is close to the screen. So because of that, the size of the shadow has been decreased. Okay, so this is how, children, the size is going to depend upon the light source, the distance from the light which is falling on the object. Okay, children, so this is the these are the characteristics of the shadow. And science in context. So what we are going to learn here is the shadow of an object is the longest in the morning and evening and the shortest at the noon. Okay, so this is because the rays of the sun are slanting in the morning and evening and straight above the head at noon. Okay, so what is happening? If you observe, children, in the mornings and evenings, the shadows will be long. The shadows will be long. Why? Because so they are close to the light. They are close to the light and they are the sun rays are in a slanting position. Okay, and they are away from the screen. Away from the screen in the sense like away from our earth. Here screen is nothing but our earth. And if you see in the mid-afternoon or midday, okay, what happens? So the shadow is shortest. The shadow is shortest. Why? Because so it's just straight on our head. It is just straight on our head. Because of this, the shadow size is decreasing because it is far from the light and near to the screen. Screen is nothing but our earth, okay, on the land which we are standing. So because of that, the size has been decreased. It is shortest. Okay, children, remember? So always the morning and the evening shadows will be longer, and the mid-afternoon or mid-noon or the midday, you can also call it as so. So here the shadows are shortest. Okay, children, clear? So this is what we have learnt about the shadow. And here you have got some words, children, which you have to remember and which are related to our lesson, that is transparent. Okay, very clear materials where light can be passed completely. Translucent, like it only allows some partial light. Opaque, it is going to block the light. Shadow, okay, like the reflection. Screen, like whatever may be the object there, so where we are having our shadows, so that is called as screen. Okay, clear? Now, so what are the keywords here? Transparent materials. So again I am repeating this because we have finished the lesson here, and we are going to summarize once again through this summary and keywords and through some objectives. So transparent materials are materials that allow the light to pass through them completely. Transparent. No, for example, you can say water, for example clear glass, or you can also give as clear plastic sheet. Okay, and translucent materials are which is going to allow light to pass through them partially. No, it is not going to pass the complete light, only partial light. For example, butter paper, okay, and transparent paper, and frost glass materials, and all this. And opaque materials, what do? They are not going to allow the light to pass through them. For example, book, wood, cement, bricks, bags, okay, all this like plastic and all that. So these are the opaque materials where you cannot let the light to pass thoroughly. Okay, and shadow, what is the shadow? The dark region formed by a translucent or opaque object when it blocks the path of light. So this shadow is a dark place or dark area which is formed by a translucent or opaque. Why it is translucent? Because they are not going to pass the light completely. So that is why it is that is why a shadow is going to form. Even opaque also same. Okay, so where the object is blocked by the path of the light. Path is nothing but the way. So when the light is passing on its way, so when you put any material in between in that way, then that particular place is blocked. Okay, which is not allowing the light to pass. So where we get the shadows. Clear, children? Yes, now. So what is the next one? The summary. Materials can be classified as transparent, translucent and opaque based on the amount of light they allow to pass through them. Okay, so according to this light, according to the amount of light, it is whether it is completely passing the light or partially passing the light or not at all passing the light, according to this, so these materials are being classified as transparent, translucent and opaque materials. Okay, and only opaque and translucent materials or objects form shadows. Transparent materials will not form shadows because they allow the light to pass completely. Only opaque and translucent objects are going to form shadows, and shadows are always dark. No, shadows do not have colors, so they are always dark in color. Okay, and shadows are formed on the opposite side of the light source. So shadows are formed on the opposite side of the light source. Suppose you are getting light from your front side, the shadow, it is going to be formed on our back. That is, it is opposite side from the light source. Clear, children? Now, so here you have got some exercises. Let us do that. And the first one is choose the correct option for each of the following. So 4 options have been given here. You have to select the right option. The first one is objects that give out light. Objects that give out light are called non-luminous, opaque, luminous or transparent. Objects that give out light, like we have learnt, like bulb is there, torch is there, okay, sun is there. So all these objects which give out light, what do we call them as? We call them as luminous materials, okay, or luminous objects. And second one is, which of the following is a transparent object? Transparent means what? Where light is allowed to pass completely. Is it clear glass, wood, butter paper or mirror? And the answer is clear glass. Clear glass. Okay, so A is the correct answer here. And the next question, children. Identify the translucent objects from the following. Identify the translucent object from the following. Is it frosted glass, cardboard, mirror or clear water? What is translucent object, children? Where the light is allowed to pass partially. Okay, it doesn't allow it to pass completely as transparent. Only partial light is passed. So this is passed through which of these materials? So answer is frosted glass. Okay, so where you can see partial light passing from these frosted glass. Okay, and the fourth one is materials that do not allow light to pass through them are called. Materials that do not allow light to pass through them completely. There is no chance of the light for passing. So we call these materials as what? Is it opaque, transparent, translucent or all of these? And the answer is opaque. Okay, children, for example, bag, book, bricks and all that. Okay. Fifth one, which of the following objects cannot form a shadow? Which of the following objects cannot form a shadow? Is it pencil, clear glass, bag or notebook? So which objects can form a shadow? Only translucent and opaque. So here which cannot form a shadow is, it must be a transparent object. No. So which one is a transparent object? It is clear glass. B is the correct answer. Clear, children? Now, so B exercise is state whether the following statements are true or false. Okay. The first one is translucent materials allow light to pass through them completely. Is it correct, children? No, it is false. No, it only allows the partial light, not complete light. So it is false. Second one, shadows are always dark. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Third one, only transparent materials can form shadows. Transparent materials. Do they form shadows, children? No. Only translucent and opaque. So this is again false. Fourth one, shadows can be formed without a light source. Shadows can be formed without a light source. Is this again correct? No. False. Shadows will form with a light source. So this is false. And the fifth one, the size of the shadow of an object is always the same. Is it true, children? No. It is again false. Why? Because as the light is close, the shadow size increases. Now, as the light is close to the object, the shadow size increases. As the light is far away from the object, the shadow size decreases. No. So this is how the shadow of an object is, size of the shadow of an object is not same. Clear, children? Yes, now clear. Now see exercise, that is fill in the blanks using the correct words. A shadow is always formed on the dash side of the object. First blank, this is which side we are going to get the shadow? On the opposite side of the object. Okay. Second one is butter paper is an example of dash material. Butter paper. So is it transparent or translucent? It is translucent because it allows only partial light to pass. Yes. Third one, shadows are formed by dash materials. Is it transparent or opaque? Opaque, because it is going to completely block the light. Okay. And the fourth one, the size of a shadow depends on the distance of the dash from the light source. The size of a shadow depends on the distance of the what? Of the object. Of the object from the light source. Okay. And the color of a shadow is always, the color of a shadow is always dark. It is not white, children, it is always dark. Clear now? Okay. So we'll go to this another exercise. Answer the following in one word. Okay. So you have to give examples for this. Transparent materials. So what are transparent materials? We'll take clear glass. Okay. Clear glass and water. Translucent materials. So you can say butter paper. Okay. And frost glass. And opaque materials, you can take wood, you can take plastic, any kind of plastic material or wood material. Okay. Things required to form a shadow: you need an object, you need light. Okay, children. So this is how you have to answer your questions. Now here you are having some question and answer session, children. So whatever questions are there, you will get answers from the text what we have in our slides. So you can prepare your own answers for all these questions. See, you have got different type of questions here. Okay. And here label the different layers in the internal structure of the sorry, this is not right, children. I'll just erase this. So you have to just label the name of these or name of these materials, whether they are transparent or translucent. Okay. So clear water is what? Transparent. And frosted glasses? Translucent. Translucent this is. Okay. Clear? Bag, apple, these are all opaque materials. Okay. Now, so here you have got one project, children. So what is this? Change a transparent object into translucent and opaque material objects. Also change an opaque object into a translucent object. So where you can change the objects here from translucent to opaque. Okay. So what you need is materials to be used is A4 size transparent sheet of plastic, A4 size tracing paper, that is 2 sheets you need, A4 size white opaque sheet, that is 2 sheets, and small bottle of hair oil and glue. Okay. So what you need is, you need A4 size transparent sheet of plastic. Okay. Like clear plastic sheets you need, A4 size of paper or plastic sheet of paper, A4 size tracing papers. Tracing papers 2 sheets, and A4 size white opaque sheets. Like you can normal white paper you will be having A4 sheets that you can take, or chart papers also you can take of A4 size. And you need a small bottle of hair glue, hair oil and glue. And what you have to do is take a transparent plastic sheet. Okay, stick tracing papers on both sides. So you take a plastic sheet first and stick tracing papers on either side, this side and that side. Apply glue only on the edges. So when you stick the paper, children, don't apply glue or to the middle of the paper. Only apply glue to the edge of this tracing papers. Okay. And now the transparent plastic sheet becomes translucent. Yes or no? Because the transparent plastic sheet is been covered with these papers, tracing papers on that side and this side. Now if you just hold the paper in front of your face, will you be able to see completely clearly the opposite object? No. Now this transparent paper has become translucent paper now. Okay, and paste one of the opaque white sheets on it. Now what you do? You paste one chart paper, that is opaque paper, any cardboard or any paper. What you are going to see it now? No, you cannot see anything now. Why? Because it is going to block the complete vision, that is the light here. So take an A4 size opaque white sheet, place 2 drops of coconut oil on the sheet and gently spread it across the sheet. You will find that the opaque sheet has become translucent. So here in this first procedure, what happened? One transparent paper has become opaque paper. No, from this transparent where we were able to see the light, from that we have blocked the light. But again in this second activity, so this A4 size, if you take a opaque size, A4 size opaque white sheet, that is any chart paper, and you place, put some drops of coconut oil on the sheet and gently just spread it across it. Now what happens? Because of this oil, this white sheet is going to become translucent. It is going to become as a trans paper, tracing paper, like we said, like butter paper. No. So now this opaque sheet has become translucent. Where you can allow the light to pass partially. Clear, children? So that is how you can make one transparent paper as opaque and opaque paper as translucent. Clear? So here is one more exercise. Draw the shadows of the tree given below for 3 different positions of the sun during the day. So here you have the sun, children. You have to draw the shadow. So what did we learn? When in the mid-afternoon, that is 12 p.m., the shadow is shorter, and whereas in the morning and evenings, the shadow is longer. That you have to draw it with your drawings. Okay. Okay, children, clear? So here, okay, still you have at 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So you have to just draw like how exactly the shadow looks at 8 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and also in the mid-afternoon. Clear, children? This is your worksheet now. Now here are some life skills. I'll just read it for you. You are given the task of setting up your study room. Make a list of the materials you would need. Classify those materials as transparent, translucent and opaque. Justify their purpose and usage. Include 2 materials from each category. Okay. Suppose if you want to make a study room. No. So what all you are going to add in your room? So you'll have a table, you'll have a chair, you have your books, you have your light. No. So many. So study room in the sense where you are going to make use of that room for your study purpose. So whatever objects you are using in that particular room, so divide it into categories, like which material is what. Okay children, so just prepare a list for your idea, like what materials are transparent, translucent and opaque. Okay, and you have to also write down their purpose and usage. So if there is a table, for what you are using it, if there is a light, for what you are using it, if there is a pencil again or pen, what you are using it for. Okay, and in every category you have to include two materials. So this is your life skills work for your for your understanding. Clear children? So this is what we have learned from our lesson. Hope you have understood the lesson and you have followed all the exercises. So we will be continuing in another session. Until then, take care and stay well. Goodbye children. Please visit our website www.aimstoday.in for other information regarding online classes, quizzes, live worksheets, DIY activities, English classes and coding. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.